First is shoulder mobility. It's all about getting range of motion and flexibility in your shoulders, so that way whenever you're actually in the water or doing whatever it is you need to be doing, you don't have an issue. So that way your shoulder doesn't stick. So the first thing you're gonna do, you're gonna take one hand, palm towards the upper back as if you're gonna pat yourself on the back. The other hand, take your thumb down, palm facing away, and you're gonna bend up. And if you can touch, then hold it there for about 30 seconds. For most of you, you have that mobility trouble. So grab a towel or a belt or a yoga strap, anything. You're gonna take one hand above, holding the towel. The other hand is gonna grab it, palm facing away from you. You use your top hand to pull the bottom arm up, creating a stretch in that shoulder. And then you walk your hands down the towel and slowly work towards being able to grasp your fingers together. The second shoulder mobility exercise I'll show you is coming to a wall, flat back. You're going to take your palms, back of the palms to the wall. You're going to go up and down like a snow angel, like you're making a snow angel on the wall. The goal is to try to keep the elbows on the wall and the wrists on the wall. About 5 to 10 times would be really good. For your thoracic spine, it's all about twisting. So that's your mid-back. So that's your rotation for your strokes, as well as just simply looking over your shoulder when you're driving or something like that. So you'll come to all fours, knees under the hips, hands under the shoulders. You're gonna take palm to the back of your neck. That bent elbow is gonna bend under towards your straightened elbow. Don't lock that joint. And then you're gonna open as far as is comfortable. And close. And open. And to make sure you're not moving too quickly, move with your breath. So think about inhaling on the open, exhaling on the close. Again, about 5 to 10 times each side would be really good. So for the other T-spine mobility exercise, what you're gonna do is grab your foam roller or a pillow, towels, books, anything that you need to help stabilize your hip. Let's see how I'm gonna do this. Okay, so you're gonna lay with the foam roller in front of you. Top knee goes in line with the hip on top of the foam roller. Bottom leg is straight. Hands out in front of you. You're gonna open again on an inhale. Gaze follows the arm. Exhale on the close. If you have neck trouble, you can get a pillow for your head to help support it. And the goal is trying to get the shoulder towards the ground. If you're really tight, your hip may want to move with you when you open. That's why you use your knee to push down onto something. So that way you're stabilizing your hips so that when you move, you're only moving into the thoracic spine. So for hip mobility, this is really important when you're in your boat, so that way you can get in the position in which you need without cranking into the back. So that way your legs aren't falling asleep as much, you have the rotation that you need, and nothing's a problem. You will find the more flexible and mobile you get, the less your limbs tend to fall asleep when you're in your boat. So what you're gonna do is, again, come to hands and knees. You're gonna extend one foot out to the side. You're not working this hip at all. This is just like a kickstand for your other hip. What you're gonna do, so So my right hip is the one I'm working. It's over my right knee. I'm going to arc my hip around towards my right ankle and then around back above the knee. And you're arcing out the entire time. So it's not a circle, it's just an arc, like a sweep stroke. What you're doing is you're working and stretching really deep into the joint. You're getting a lot of fluid moving, and you're working out a lot of stiffness of that soft tissue around your joints. And the soft tissue is, whenever that starts to get really stiff, that's what inhibits your mobility. So it's gonna arc around, and then back to the heel, and then around and back up. The next mobility exercise for your hips is to actually open up the front of the hips, the hip flexors, what tends to get really, really tight. So you're gonna come to a kneeling position. I'm gonna switch. You're gonna come to a kneeling position. You're gonna tuck your hips under, so you're starting to really straighten out that joint. So you tuck it under and you push them forward. If you feel really wobbly, take your front leg and walk it towards the outside of your body. That gives you more foundation. You can have something to hold on to, but you want to just try to be stable. So again, tuck the hips under, press it forward. So this is part one. If you feel a good stretch here, stay here. The second part to this stretch, to take it up a notch, is the same hand of the side that you're stretching is going to come overhead. And what it does is it begins to really lengthen in the QL in the side body. So it's really stretching all of the muscles and all of the soft tissue that is around the hip. If that feels really good and you have your flexibility and mobility, your free hand's going to come down or towards your calf in the back, and you'll just keep reaching. Try to hold it for a few breaths on each side. That's really all you need for that one. Finally, we're gonna work on ankle mobility. And so again, very important, not only for in your boat, so that way you can get locked in as much as you need, but it's also really good for hiking, especially if you're portaging something on the side of a creek, something that's steep. The single leg, you're basically single leg squatting around the rapids, and so this type of stuff will help you get higher to really be much more stable and confident in your hiking. So we're gonna move this guy. You can use a step or you can use a wall, doesn't matter, whatever is comfortable for you. So I'm gonna show you three. The first one, you're gonna take your toes on a wall or on a step, knee is straight but not locked, and you're gonna push your hips forward, getting in the back of the heel and in the calf, so all up and down here. The second thing you're gonna do, and you can always put your foot a few inches from a step or a wall, or if you're comfortable, you won't use it. So what you're gonna do is the free foot, the foot you're not stretching, you're gonna take forward, and then you're gonna start to bend the knee over the toes while the heel stays on the ground. The other way you can do this is in a kneeling position. So this time I'm going to be working the foot that's in front, keeping the heel down, leaning forward. And finally, you can grab a long towel, a belt, a yoga strap, it doesn't matter. What you're gonna do is wrap it around the balls of your feet or in your midfoot. If you do it in the balls, you'll feel it more. But what you're gonna do is straighten that foot to the ground. You can straighten both, but it will probably help if you bend one knee. And you're gonna pull those toes towards you, keeping the knee straight. So once again, it's all mostly about stretching that heel and all of the muscles around it, and tendons and ligaments. The static stretches like this, toes against the wall, holding those for about 30 seconds is really good. Anything that's dynamic, like the T-spine openers, you can do 5 to 10 repetitions of those if you do it daily. It will really, really help. And then I'm going to give you a bonus, which is wrists. Your wrists also need to be mobile and they can tend to lock up, especially after cold weather paddling. So one thing that you can do is come to hands and knees. Get the shoulders over the wrists, but have your stance between your knees and hands a little bit closer, because what you're going to do is keep the palm of your hands down, keep your fingers down, and you're going to shift your weight forward, just like with the heel stretch. And you'll do that a few times for a count of 5 to 10. And then, this is my least favorite one. You're going to take the back of your hands onto the ground, and same thing, you're going to shift forward and lean back, but your stretch this time, instead of on the forward, is going to be when you sit back. So if you are really flexible, then you can start to widen the stance between your hands and legs. And then of course, just easy wrist circles. Practice this for about a few times a week for about a month or so, and you'll really find that your mobility will begin to increase, especially with the stretches that I showed you last month for your spine and your torso. And then you'll notice that certain strokes and skills that you need on the water will begin to become more efficient and easier. So have fun.